obviously be pretty keen to bounce back after that narrow defeat last week.
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously disappointing the way the result went on the weekend. We did have a lot of positives come out of it after the bouncing back after the first quarter, which was quite disappointing. But yeah, we just probably said we can't get off to slow starts, especially upcoming against Port, who obviously come off a loss as well. So it's an important game for us, just in that week, and also for us to be playing finals at the end of the year.
It helps that the two teams above you, Gold Coast and North, both lost as well. I mean, it's going to be tight going into September, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably something we don't look at too much at the moment, and we just want to focus on ourselves and our form. So this week's probably one of the more important ones as well, with Collingwood the week after. So I suppose if we can have a good performance this weekend, it'll hold us in good stead.
You mentioned it's not something you guys focus on, but do you sneak a look at the ladder or the other results over the weekend when it's so tight?
Yeah, you have a little bit of a look, and obviously we had the Friday night game, so we were able to watch the rest of the ones. So it's always a slight positive for us, but we just try and focus really on what we want to be doing, and if we can be winning, then it sort of takes away the rest of what everyone else is doing.
Port seemed unbeatable a couple of weeks ago. Adelaide showed that's no longer true now. You must take positives from Adelaide's performance.
Yeah, definitely. Port have been a great side, and they're playing really exciting footy under Ken Hinkley. So I think if we can play some of the footy that we did in the second half of the second quarter and the third quarter, and just maintain that sort of that last little patch in the fourth quarter where we like Geelong came at us and we couldn't really hold it off. But I think, yeah, we're confident going into the game. We'll obviously review the weekend and have a good week leading into Port.
You guys have had a pretty good go at Port the last few times you met last season. You had a pretty comfortable win. Do you look at that, or do you think you sort of match up pretty well against them?
Yeah, it's something I reckon you always look at as to how you've gone over sides in the past and whether you can have a little bit of an edge on them here and there. But like I said, they're a really good side at the moment. They're playing really good footy. So I think if we play at our best like we did in patches and just put a real four-quarter effort together, I reckon we'll have a really good crack and we should come away with a win.
You mentioned that they're playing in patches. That seems to be a real disappointment, I suppose. How do you sort of maintain that level of consistency that you did in that third quarter?
Yeah, it's probably just a start, really. If you're getting off to a poor start, it just puts you on the back foot from the outset. So that's where the patch does come from. And then from that, we actually played some quite consistent footy for the rest of the game. So, Geelong did come out really well, and they're a good first quarter side. And it was a credit to us that we're able to stem them back in the second quarter and get on top of them in the third quarter. So it's just a combination of not letting opposition score even though we're not scoring.
Do you think it's a good time to get them a bit low on confidence after that loss, or do you think it might be, on the other hand, they might be sort of up and about and keen to make amends?
It's probably hard to say, I reckon. This time of the year, teams are up and down with form, and I think we're sort of slowly coming into some really good form. So they're a very good side, and I think any time that you're going to get them, they're going to be playing some really good footy, and it's just up to us and whether we're ready for it.
Last week, Bomber mentioned that he addressed the team in his jocks. What do you think he's got in store for you guys this week?
Not too sure this week, but yeah, he could come out with something pretty good. He's good like that. Like he likes to keep things fun, even the pre-game meetings and day before the game. He likes to lighten it up and just keep us all relaxed, and just gets us to play footy because that's what we really enjoy doing, and I suppose that's what he really brings to the team. Yeah.
How have you sort of seen your own personal year this year, Joe?
Started off, I've sort of had a few little niggles here and there, and it sort of put me back a little bit in terms of senior selection, and I've just worked really hard probably over the last 8 weeks, and 6 of them were in the VFL, working with Nathan Bassett, Simon Goodwin, and just talked with Bomber on how I'm going, and we just had some really good conversations about where I'm at. I've been in the system for 5 years now, so I really wanted to know what I had to be doing to be getting senior selection, and it's just a little bit of hard work and just getting myself in the right mental frame to be playing each week, and that's all I really take it down to. Not getting too consumed by the game, not worrying about one little mistake here and there, and just having a crack and playing footy, and that's one thing that Bomber really encourages everyone, is just to play footy, because at the end of the day it's just a game, and everyone can get caught up in structures and what's going on and everything like that, and that's what we did in the third quarter, and that's what we hope to do this week against Port, is just play footy, go out there and have a crack.
You guys have now lost a few games, close ones, where you've been sort of in front or really in it in the final quarter. Is that something that you sort of focus on in a review, things you need to do better in that regard? Like, is it going to become a problem mentally for you guys going forward?
No, I don't think so. I think the week against Melbourne, I obviously didn't play, but I was watching, and that was disappointing, and it was just a few little structures here and there that we almost probably overlooked at. And it's just playing the game out. So I don't think we'd really have a problem. We obviously review it and look at the game and see, all right, this is where we might have stuffed up here or whatever. But I think it's something that we're just going to go forward, and if we get off to a better start, then we won't put ourselves in a position that'll be so tight at the end.
So do you think this week the message will be release the shackles against Port a little bit from those structures?
Yeah, I think it'll not necessarily against the structures. We obviously have them set in place. It's just playing the game and not getting over-consumed by the situation. It'd obviously be a big crowd at Adelaide Oval, and Port are a very good side. So it's just not getting caught up in everything else and controlling really what you can control, which is just playing footy.
You mentioned the big crowd at Adelaide Oval. How are you feeling ahead of that? There's been a lot of talk about the sort of atmosphere that it provides over there.
I'm actually really excited to head over there. I think we obviously get to play in a few big crowds throughout the year, and it'll just be another good opportunity. First time in Adelaide Oval that I'll be playing there personally, and yeah, I'm actually quite excited to see how they go, because I don't think there's anything better than silencing a home crowd when you're playing interstate, and to get an interstate win as well is even better. So yeah, we're pretty excited for it.
I think you were around the pack when BJ struck Howlett.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when that happened?
I was behind Benny, and I sort of didn't really notice. I just remember getting sort of pushed back a little bit, and just looked at BJ, and he was just fuming because they didn't give him a mark. So, and then I think Mackey's almost tried to pull him back, so he was sort of questioning which side he was on there for a little bit. But no, we sort of had a bit of a laugh about it over the weekend, and BJ, I think he just took his frustration out on Benny, so it was pretty funny.
Yeah.